If you walk into a Rolex boutique today with $100,000 in cash, you will still leave empty-handed. You cannot buy their watches. The display cases are full, yet the sales associates will politely tell you that every single piece is exclusively for exhibition. To buy a new Rolex, you must first enter an unwritten psychological game. You must buy cheaper jewelry you do not want, wait on secretive lists for years, and prove your loyalty to an authorized dealer. Rolex doesn't sell timepieces. They sell an admission ticket into an untouchable global club. To the untrained eye, it looks like a luxury watchmaker. But behind the velvet curtains, Rolex is a multi-billion-dollar ghost. It is a company with no public shareholders, no financial records, and a corporate structure that legally hides its massive wealth from the face of the earth. Today we pull back the Gilded Shadow to decode how an elite illusionist captured the top 1%. The illusion began in 1905 with a British orphan named Hans Wilsdorf. He didn't inherit an empire. He engineered one. At the turn of the 20th century, gentlemen only carried pocket watches. Wristwatches were considered fragile jewelry meant strictly for women. Wilsdorf saw a shift in human psychology before anyone else. He knew that as the world modernized, speed, status, and convenience would become the ultimate currencies. He created the name Rolex because it was short, easy to pronounce in any language, and looked symmetrical on a watch face. But Wilsdorf's true genius was not in engineering gears. It was in engineering perception. In 1926, he created the Rolex Oyster, the world's first waterproof watch. To prove it, he didn't run standard advertisements. He placed the watch on the wrist of a young swimmer named Mercedes Gleitze as she swam across the English Channel. When she emerged after 10 hours in the freezing water, the watch was keeping perfect time. Wilsdorf splashed the story across front pages globally. He realized a deep psychological truth. Human beings do not buy what they need. They buy what they are told can survive the impossible. Fast forward to the modern day, and Rolex produces roughly 1 million watches every single year. By all economic metrics, supply is massive. Yet, the global market faces a permanent, artificial shortage. This is the masterclass of economic manipulation. If Rolex flooded the market to meet demand, the illusion would shatter. Economics dictates that when supply meets demand, prices stabilize. But luxury relies on the psychology of denial. By keeping retail supply artificially choked, Rolex forces their product into the secondary market. Suddenly, a watch that costs $10,000 at retail flips for $30,000 online. This price gap turns a consumer product into a financial asset class. Wealthy individuals do not buy Rolexes to tell time. They buy them as a store of value, a hedge against inflation that outperforms traditional stocks. Rolex has successfully trained the global elite to pay them for the privilege of waiting. But the most brilliant strategy of Rolex isn't how they make money. It's where that money goes. Rolex is not owned by an individual, a family, or a public conglomerate like LVMH. It is owned entirely by the Hans Wilsdorf Foundation, a private charitable trust based in Geneva, Switzerland. Under Swiss law, private foundations face strict privacy protections and massive tax exemptions. Because it is legally registered as a charity, Rolex is not required to publish its profits, its executive salaries, or its investment portfolios. Billions of dollars flow from the global elite directly into a private ecosystem that no government can audit and no competitor can track. The company reinvests its massive liquidity back into premium real estate, elite sports sponsorships like Formula One and Wimbledon, and global philanthropy. They have built a self-sustaining financial fortress. They pay zero corporate income tax on their foundational holdings, hiding their absolute power in plain sight. Rolex is the ultimate corporate illusion. It is a marketing firm disguised as a watchmaker, operating inside a tax haven, fueled by the psychological need for human status. They didn't just build a timepiece. They trapped the top 1% in a loop of eternal desire. Behind every great fortune lies a hidden truth. If you want to decode the secret economic blueprints and hidden empires of the global elite, subscribe to the Gilded Shadow. Turn on notifications. True power operates quietly. See you in the next episode.